Hi there, welcome to the latest episode of my 10-minute moan, my second of today, right? Now this one, the topic is yet another SNP MP, or sorry, should say ex-MP, joining the list of people to get tore into the SNP. And this one is no other than Coco the Clown, Tony Sheppard, the comedy club owner, right? Now, again, it's in the Express, they seem about as keen as me to get towed right into this mob. They have went with a story by Ben Borland, which the headline states, former SNP MP says Operation Branch for him was the elephant in the room. Now that he's lost his seat, Tony Sheppard has set out a lengthy list of things that have gone wrong with the SNP over the past few years, saying it's hard to fight an election with your former leaders awaiting charges. Right, so he's another one, not getting £91,000 a year anymore, and now decided that some of the things in the SNP aren't so good. Imagine that, Tommy. So, wonder why Tommy Sheppard didn't come out with these things before the election. Well, that's because before the election he was on £91,000 per year, plus all the expenses he could catch, right, off Westminster. So the story goes, yet another SNP MP who lost their seat at the general election has launched an attack on the party's record at Holyrood and the leadership of Nicola Sturgeon. Tommy Sheppard, who lost out in the redrawn constituency of Edinburgh East and Musselburgh, says the ongoing police investigation into alleged fraud in the SNP finances was a major factor. You're no kidding. Former party chief Peter Morrell has been charged with embezzlement as part of Operation Branch for him, while his wife, Ms Sturgeon, remains a suspect along with former treasurer Colin Beattie. He's a wee Easter egg with feet guy, you know, sort of blonde, grey, wispy, sometimes maybe bald. Anyway, where did we get to? Writing in the National. Mr Sheppard identified a range of factors to blame for the SNP collapse, from 48 seats won in 2019 to just 9. With no MPs in Edinburgh, Glasgow or the Central Belt, these included North Sea oil and gas, the rancour over the trans debate and the lack of clear Skexit strategy. Imagine that, Tommy. Imagine you blaming the stuff they've been saying about North Sea oil for 2 to 3 years and the trans debate that they've been talking about for about the same length of time, when you never opened your mouth about either of these the whole time you were an MP getting £91,000 per year. He added, and then there was the elephant in the room, Operation Branch for him. Never mentioned, always there, hard to fight in an election with your former leaders awaiting charges, especially when many of the public perceive little distance between now and then, a perception not countered by the debacle over iPad expenses. He's gone for, what's his name? Michael Matheson as well. There you are. So Holyrood's stinking and Matheson getting a kick as well. So turning to the SNP's record in government at Holyrood over the last 70 years, the disillusioned former MP continued. Then there were those who feel that everything is shite and they blame us for it. Well, you've been governing for 17 years, mate. If it is shite, then you will get blamed for it. That's how it goes. Where did we get to? Most of these people never voted SNP. Heaven Crivens, help my Bob. Am I not allowed an opinion on the government if I've not voted for it? Are you mental? You're right, I have never voted SNP, but some did. Underperformance in areas of government and the SNP control definitely affects the trust and confidence some of our supporters have in the party. Also, underperformance in the government and the SNP definitely affects trust and confidence from some folk who aren't supporters of your party, my friend. That's why you get horsed out, because you managed to upset both sides of the unionist and the nationalist argument. That's right. People that wanted no union, wanted the union, have never voted for you. They've actually tactically voted against you to help you get ousted, and loads of folks stopped voting for you who I would probably think might still fancy being independent, right? So you've managed to horse the whole thing by upsetting both of those people. That takes some doing. You probably couldn't do that if you planned to do it. That's how incompetent you are. Suggesting that he is one of the few Nats who recognise reality when he sees it, he urged his fellow Skexiteers to stop pretending independence is just around the corner and can be achieved at the next election. Hold on, but you all went up to your party conference last year and said, we want independence, front and centre, page 1, line 1 of the manifesto. That's what you all voted for. Bit late and crying about it now, eh? We've all been telling you, you can't get independence at the next election, but you didn't want to listen to folk. You want to steam ahead. Since Nicola Sturgeon came out of the streets of London after getting horsed out the court, she went, we're going to have a de facto referendum. We're going to get independence through that, 50% plus a vote. Then you realised that'd be quite difficult. And it turned into John Swinney and Timothy Yusuf saying, we're going to get independence at the next election. It'll be a de facto referendum. And if we get more than half the seats, that'll be a cry for independence, right? Total nonsense. But you've told everybody that. So you can't cry about it now. And illustrating the chasm between SNP's Westminster group and the party's leadership at Holyrood, he dismissed the Scottish Government as essentially a provincial administration in a small part of the UK. Heavens, grivens, help my bob. That's because that's what it is, right? They shouldn't even have gave it a bloody named parliament. You're now describing it as a provincial administration in a small part of the UK. So stop pretending yous are important. This is despite the fact that ministers in Edinburgh have full powers over the NHS, education, justice, planning and public services, as well as a partial control over taxation and benefits. Responding to his article in social media, the nationalist blogger Wings Over Scotland tweeted, "Some remarkable admissions in here." And one follower replied, "Amazing how many of them are pretending to just notice these things." Now, see this Wings Over Scotland, right? I thought somebody had stolen their account because I hadn't been on Twitter for about 10 years before I started these podcasts. And then I went on Twitter to try and spread the word, right? And I started noticing Wings Over Scotland being anti-SNP. Because the last time I was on it, they were one of the SNP's biggest fanboys, right? Now, that's quite a big nationalist movement, that Wings Over Scotland. A lot of people take what they say on board. And they apparently have been slaughtering SNP for a long time while I was off Twitter. It was delightful to see. But I read that as, some nationalists might not like SNP anymore. Did the SNP see that? No. They pay spads lots of money to go and learn stuff like that. And did they? No, they didn't. Right? They completely missed it. They couldn't even read that room. I'm a unionist. I read it. Right? I seen it and thought, lots of new nationalists don't want them anymore. Right? But did they do anything about it? No, they didn't. They just carried on ahead, and now you've got crackpots like Coco the Clown here, right? I'm in his Connery Club. Did that for 10, 12 years, however long he was in Parliament, and now he's not got a job, and he's going, we done all that stuff wrong. Tommy, we ain't falling for your nonsense, right? It's just sour grapes. If you had any morals about you whatsoever, you'd have been telling us this stuff before you get horsed out, right? Because the mad thing is, see if you'd have won your seat back on Thursday, right? You'd still not be telling us this. So what it is sour grapes. And I'm lapping it up because you, and do you know the only one that's come out and said anything bad about the SNP that I actually have any respect at all for? Joanna Cherry. Do you know why? She'd been calling them out in their nonsense before that. She's been saying all along, see this gender stuff, you haven't got this right. Right? You've got it wrong. She's been saying that for a long time. So you've got to have a bit of respect for her. But see the rest of you, to a man and a woman. Has any other woman apart from her come out yet? Don't know. I'm trying to keep up, right? I'm trying to do a video every time a crank SMP for the SNP comes out with some nonsense, right? I can't keep up because you're all at it for Friday morning. At least Joanna Sterry, she'd a bit of balls. She's right front and centre. As soon as the election, see you, Nicola, you're crackers, right? No Nicola Sturgeon's in the studio and she's getting interviewed by ITV, right? Her reaction was priceless. It was all that, I mean, why is everybody blaming me? I'll tell you why everybody's blaming you, Nicola, because you're a cow, right? You buggered up our country. Not only that, not only did you manage to bugger up our country and have people that are unionists and people in the middle that are maybe not too sure about independence one way or another, you managed to piss all them off by wrecking the country. Now you've managed to see these people who are here, proper nationalists, right? They should be your bread and butter. They're even stopping voting for you. Do you know why? These are crackers, and these people are just finding out. All you've got left is the nuttiest of the nutty, right? See the proper, as a good friend Steph says quite a lot on that Twitter, the William Wallace wannabes. See the crackpots are out dressed up as Robert the Bruce and all that, and their Scottish resistance t-shirts. In fact, they don't even like you anymore. It must be people worse than that still vote for you, that actually still got SNP. Don't you say a bad word about SNP. I want independence. Don't say a bad word about SNP. Right, see that mob? That's all you've got. See anybody with an IQ above about 4, right? They've sussed you out. They're not getting anywhere near you. And that, have you ever thought why you don't have any big businesses, like giving you money? It's dead simple, why not? Big businesses are normally run by semi-intelligent and higher intelligence people, right? They've all worked it out. These are skanks, right? These are rid, rotten. And that's why you've got no money. That's why we're taking 1.5 million roughly a year off you because of the amount of money you've lost at Westminster. We'll see you bankrupt. That's because nobody that's got half a clue would give you any money. Do you know what I mean? Any single businessman that could throw you 100 grand here or there has got to be clever, right? They ain't coming back to you. They see you for what you are. They're like, see them, they're bonkers. Their accounts department, right, Mr. Suter, well, I'll just write out another cheque for 100,000 to that SNP like we do every year. He's like, no, they're bonkers, right? So that's why you've got the only people that give you money over 500 quid are dead, right? Because anybody with still a pulse can go, they've lost the plot. See with their gender nonsense, don't know what to say about oil and gas, telling us this is how we're going to get a referendum and we can see right through it, it'll never work. See everybody that like normal people, they can see right through you. And Mad Tommy here, even him, he's a clown, right? And he can see through you, but he's not got the morals to stand up and say a word until somebody takes his 90 grand a year job off him, right? So he's got no morals. What he's saying though is actually true, right? He's timing it stinks. Do you know what I mean? It was all right Wednesday. Everything he's coming out with and telling you is bad, after Thursday, was still the same on Wednesday when he was telling everybody to vote for him, right? That's how much morals these people have got. Standing there going like that, poke doors, can you vote for me? Because I'm the SNP and we're cracking, right? Loses his seat, 72 hours later, see that SNP are pure shite, right? I have to take these people serious. No, you're a clown. And I'd love you to see this video and get really upset because I'm calling you a clown and you send me lawyers letter or something. Because do you know what? I'd bring it all the way through to your door at your wee comedy club and ram it down your throat and laugh at you because you're bonkers, right? You're a clown. Here, Tommy, vote Tommy, yeah? These are mental. If you enjoyed the video, give me a thumbs up. If you've not already done so, please consider subscribing and hit the notifications bell. But more importantly than that, unless you're Coco the Clown, anybody else that's jumping in his bandwagon, or any absolute crank that's still voting for this mob, see everybody else, have a great day. Cheery bye now.